About 2 weeks ago, someone needed help making cold calls. If you don't know what that is, it means you have like a list of names and phone numbers, and then you go down the list and make calls to help sell a product or service or something. So he was like, Andre, I'll pay you if you make some cold calls for me. I'm trying to sell a service. I build a list of potential clients, and I'm like, I mean, sure. So he sent me the list. And I'm looking at this list, and I'm like, bro, I'm not doing all this by myself. It doesn't matter how much you pay me. First of all, I'm not a salesman, okay? I thought this was just like a favor, okay? Second of all, this is like insane. Pages upon pages upon pages of people I need to randomly call. So he said, all right, well, how about I come over to your place and we knock this out together and I'll still pay you. I said, oh, that sounds like a deal. All right, sure. So he comes over to my place and he walked into my room. For those who aren't familiar with me, I have a very deep love for esoteric stuff, occultism, and so forth. Tarot cards, sacred geometry, numerology, hermeticism, Rosicrucianism, Kabbalah, shamanism, all that stuff. Now, I haven't engaged in any of this stuff in forever, but I have books everywhere in my room. I have items. I'm looking at this right now. I have a huge freaking ceremonial dagger sitting on my shelf, and it's just laying next to a rug with a pentagram on it. And as I look at it right now, it's beyond dusty. There's dog hair all over it, dust everywhere. Bro, I don't got time for this stuff anymore. Life's been good. I'm very happy. Everything's going well. I'm just very busy. I'm just not going to sit here making incantations and burning sage every night. Like, what? Like, for real. So he stepped into my room and he saw all this stuff. And he's like, whoa, Andre, I didn't know you were into magic. I'm like, hey, it's been a while. It's just there at this point, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get rid of it because, I pay for all this stuff. It's expensive. And he says, my wife is into all this stuff. What kind of stuff were you doing, bro? Nothing crazy, right? And I hate when people say stuff like that. Like, bro, acting like I'm riding a goat in a living room or something, or dripping blood into a bowl. Like, bro, relax. Like, what, bro? Like, I told him no. Like, I used to do LBRP every morning and meditate. And he's like, what's LBRP? And I said, LBRP stands for Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram. It's a meditation and visualization exercise where you imagine the four archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Ariel, Raphael, surrounding you as guardians. And it's meant to banish negative energy. Get it? LBRP, banishing ritual. And if you want to be rational, okay, if you know it's because magic is woo-woo, right? If you want to be rational about this, it's a psychological reset. That's it. It's a psychological reset. That's it. It's a meditation. And he's like, interesting. Does it work? And I said, nothing works unless you believe it. You know what I'm saying? If you believe four archangels are in your presence while you're meditating to protect you, and you're using that meditation, look, meditation, there's no right way to meditate. Whatever works for you, works for you. So if you feel this is good for you and you psychologically program your subconscious to believe, even if it's BS, that you banished negative energy and you're protected by archangels, I think if you, again, make yourself believe it, you might feel positive and protected, okay? That's how this stuff works, That's why people be going to church and they don't listen, they just like the energy, and they psychologically feel positive. They feel protected because they went to church, you know what I'm saying? But, we're going to end up getting into a theological argument about this because some people don't feel that way about that. Anyway, I don't believe in magic like it's some woo-woo Harry Potter stuff. It's supposed to be a subconscious rewire. You're not going to do magic if suddenly you're rich or enlightened or something. It's not, it's just psychological. So does it work? It works if you believe it. Such is the power of the mind, you know what I'm saying? And we're having a full conversation about this. What I just said there is exactly what I was saying to him. And he's like, I got to make you meet my wife. She's totally into this. And I'm sure she'd be down to do meditation with you and stuff like this. And she says that she feels a lot of negative energy all the time. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe she should go see a therapist. Like, wait, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not Mr. Positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, she feels negative energy. She's not going to feel any more positive around me. You know what I'm saying? But I said, maybe we can do that. I don't know. There's a full moon in like 2 weeks. I've done full moon rituals before. We'll do some LBRP. We'll meditate and we'll release anything that, we feel we're holding on to, like we're supposed to do in full moon rituals. And he's like, all right. Oh man, she's going to love that. Can I come over too? I said, yeah, no worries. Your wife. Why would you just send your wife to my house alone? That would be weird, So boom, 2 weeks after this, it was the full moon, right? This was last Thursday as I'm recording this video. So this situation, it happened last Thursday. So during the 2 weeks since then, right, I've been practicing my LBRP because it's been a while. I wake up every morning, I do LBRP, I meditate for 5 minutes, then I pray, then I go on with my day. Since I've been doing this again, I'm finding my day is way more productive. I'm focused since I got back into it. I'm feeling a lot more positive to start my day because, I'd be grumpy in the morning and stuff like that. I'd be feeling upset and stuff. And I'm feeling good about this. I forgot how nice it was to do this again. So time goes by, right? It's that Thursday I'm talking about, last Thursday. It's 9 p.m. or so. And she comes over to my house, this guy's wife, right? And the guy shows up too. And they brought another friend. Who? I don't know who this chick is, okay? Yeah, listen, y'all inviting people now. But you know what? She seemed pretty nice, Just don't understand why you ain't just tell me this, like you just bring some random chick over. So it's 4 of us at this point. And I told them exactly what I said earlier in this video. Before we even do anything like this, I was telling them, like, listen, remember, guys, what we're about to do tonight, it only works if you believe it. Here's the rationale and here's the woo-woo, yada, yada, yada. But the 2 girls seem to be more interested in the woo-woo part. Oh my God, I felt the crystals I have in my car. They were vibrating a certain way. The planet is in this constellation tonight, so this is perfect to do this ritual. The moon, I'm like, all right. Listen, I'm just here to do a guided meditation. Anyway, I told all of them this and that, and I said, look, here's what I want you guys to do. Here's a piece of paper. Write down one thing you feel you are holding deeply onto, and don't share it with anyone else tonight or forever, really. Don't tell me, okay? Something that you can realistically release, something that's hurting you emotionally, spiritually, whatever, you just want to, let it go from your life. Write that down. One thing only. So boom. While they're doing that, I pulled my altar out from my closet, and on the altar, I put some sage into a bowl. I started burning it, get that sage smell out there. I got some candles, water, 4 elements, yada, yada, yada. I put 4 chairs down around the altar, and I told everyone to stand by their chair. I turned off the lights. So only the altar was lit with the candles were lighting and all that stuff. And I had a dagger in my hand. And I did exactly what I was used to, what I've been doing. I was like, take 3 deep breaths. And then we did it 3 times, okay? I'm guiding them through deep breaths. This is a meditation, okay? And I told them, close your eyes. Picture white infinite light surrounding us. Then imagine a very strong, illuminating bright light above your head. And then, boom, I started doing the ritual, right? And then when I finished the LBRP part, I told them, okay, now have a seat. And we shall sit in silence for 5 minutes. During this meditation period, try to think about love, infinite compassion, self-worth. You're strong, you're important, you are loved, etc., etc. So I'm telling them, it's like saying this stuff. And during the 5-minute meditation, I kept opening up my left eye, right? I was peeking through my left eye because this is the first time I'm doing this with these people, right? I'm in a dark room with practically 2 strangers and 1 dude who I know is confused here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't trust these people like that. So I'm in a dark room, you know what I'm saying? I got a dagger in my hand too. Like, it's crazy. So I'm like poking my eye out, and I see one of the girls, the girl who showed up, who I never invited, okay? I see tears just flowing down her face. She's silently crying so much. Like, I just, tears. So I stood up and I grabbed her a tissue. And she's like falling apart. It's like, bro, it's been like 2 minutes out of the 5 minutes. You like crying like crazy. Something emotionally is like getting to her. So 5 minutes, right? My phone alarm went off because 5 minutes passed. And I told them, okay, now, one at a time, starting from my left. Put the note that you wrote over the flames of the candle here and watch it burn over the bowl. And just leave it in the bowl and just watch the rest of it burn. So simply put, just burn the paper that you wrote. That nobody else should know or see, okay? So when the girl who was crying comes up, she was the last one. I'm watching her burn it. And as it's burning, she's just sobbing. Oops. I didn't mean to knock that over, my bad. So as she's watching it burn, she starts sobbing loudly, like she's crying loud. And I see she's like covering her face and everything, and I just hear like it's crazy. So I give her a hug. I don't know this chick, but something snapped in her. Like we all started hugging her, and we're saying like, hey, are you okay? It's okay. We'll get through this, etc., etc. So I ask her, do you want to step out? Do you want water? Do you want to finish this? And she said yes. And I was like, all right, I did the LBRP Kabbalistic cross against end the ritual, and then I turned the lights back on. And we were all just sitting there with the lights on, right? We're just smelling the sage still burn and stuff like that, the candles and everything. And she just seemed like she lost her soul, bro. Like she looked soulless. Literally, she looked like her eye. I was looking at her in her eye several times. She looked dead. Like just sitting down talking. Everyone else is saying they feel great. I felt great. They feel like a lot of tension just went away after burning their note. But the girl who was sobbing, she's barely speaking. She says she feels upset. And I asked her, did I say or do something to make her feel that way? Like, I'm sorry if I did something. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. She said, no, she just has a lot going on. All right, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do for you at this point. So the night ended. It's the next day. So the guy texts me and he tells me that, yo, Andre, I'm still feeling great after last night. I feel energized. I feel rejuvenated. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, whoo, my wife feels great too. We had a great morning. Yeah, man, everything's just great. She's telling me, she's like calling me, saying like she feels great and everything. Work is doing good. But their friend, the one who's sobbing, is not responding to text or anything. And remember, I don't know her, so I can't text her anything or whatever, right? And they're saying that phone calls are not being answered. And I'm like, uh-oh, what happened here? So eventually, I find out today, as I'm recording this video, that she was having panic attacks all weekend. This happened, we did the ritual on Thursday. So I guess Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and today is Sunday. Yeah, it's Monday now because it's like 12 a.m. But Sunday, right? She was having panic attacks for like a few days. She called out of work and everything. I'm like, yo, I'm feeling crazy right now because look, she came over uninvited. Okay, I don't know this chick. She continued and wanted to participate on her own free will. I asked if she was okay and everything. I said, would I do something? She's like, no. So like, I don't know what incarnation is going on. But apparently, what I was told today was that after the weekend, she's saying to them, or today rather, like later today, it's this Sunday, she's saying to them that she feels like she has been reborn or something. She's super happy right now. She feels amazing. She feels loved by everybody. She feels, I don't know, she feels like she said, quote, she feels like she got her life back. I'm like, bro, I don't know. This, what this sounds like to me? Respect. I don't know if she's going through an episode or something, or maybe she was really holding on to something. Again, this is neurological. This is psychological. This is what I was saying earlier. You heard what I said. You heard what I did in the ritual. I said, right, whatever you're holding on to, we're going to banish the negative energy, and we're going to burn something that you've been holding on to at the same time. It's symbolic. It's not really like, bro, we're not really doing something. It's symbolism here, okay? This doesn't have to be about magic. The simple belief of finally letting go of something that has been bothering you or burdening you or hanging on to you emotionally or whatever. And you sit there for a 5-minute meditation to say how important you are as a person and how you are loved in XYZ. That's not magic. That's just conditional thinking, okay? And then you burn the thing that you've been holding on. Like that's just a symbolic thing, dude. That's what ritual is. You get what I'm saying? It's not, bro, we didn't cast a fireball spell. This is like Skyrim, an illusion spell, bro. Like that's basically what we just did. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why it's helpful for people if you believe, you know what I'm saying? So either Shorty is going through an episode or she felt like she was getting rid of stuff and needed a few days to finally move forward. Who knows? I don't know. How do y'all feel about this? Do you think this is a bad sign or a good sign? I feel like, I don't know, at this point, only time could tell. I hope this isn't some episode, but hey, whatever. This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. I'm out.